Welcome back to Susie's Cozy Corner. We are working on the key tracking book Nook. We are on part 5. We are going to be putting together some shelves and moving right along. As promised, this is called, as I said, the key tracking book Nook, and that is because this is a mysterious book Nook. We are going to be using the book Nook to search for clues. There are going to be 5 hidden keys, I believe, throughout, and that is because we are in the studio of a painter named Alexander who has gone missing. So the description is, in a quiet alley in London, inside the studio of painter Alexander, known for his intricate and enigmatic paintings. He, however, has mysteriously vanished one day from his workspace. The smell of turpentine hits you immediately. A shattered vase lies by the fireplace on the first floor, and a trail of gray, muddy footprints leads up to the stairs. As the investigation deepened, my eyes locked onto a massive puzzle in the studio. Could this be a clue Alexander left behind? So we are going to try to find Alexander. I have gone ahead and put together the first shelf, and so we have got, this is going to be A16. This piece is D8, and then 3 of the books we put together earlier. So that shelf is completely done. The next shelf, we've got 3 books that I've already just glued together. Those were the books that we put together earlier. Same ones. I think there were a total of 18, if memory serves. I'm getting a little bit older, so cannot always remember what I do a few minutes ago. I'm going to put a little bit of B7000 glue onto these books. And I'm going to put them down with the spines facing me. Get those kind of lined up. Don't have to be perfect. And then we are going to take D6, place that next to it into its proper spot. Okay, and then we have got D2, and that's going to be a typewriter, and that's going to go into that spot. And that shelf is done. Okay, so that's 2 shelves done. Moving right along, we have a A14. We have a skull. I think, I'm not an artist, but I believe artists, painters, sculptors do have skulls in their studios. I mean, that one looks like more of a Halloween decoration, but I don't know. I'm not an artist or a painter, so don't come at me in the comments. I am just simply giving you my opinion for what it's worth, which, to be truthful with you, is fine. It is not meant to insult anyone or tell anyone that they're creepy, but that skull definitely looks like a Halloween skull to me. And then we're going to take 3 books. I'm going to put them. And I try to keep the books that have some additional detail. They might have a title on the cover or something like that. I personally just kind of keep those so that those are the ones that stand out. We're going to take these 3 books and take our tweezers. And we're going to carefully put these onto the shelf. Once they're down, just go ahead and fix them like so. And then we're going to take this book. And this is what I'm talking about, having a little bit more detail. See how there's writing on it? I don't know if you can see that or not real clearly. But I like that because that's what's facing out, and it just makes it, to me, seem a little bit more realistic. This one's going to also be put at a slant, so I'm going to put some glue on the sides versus the bottom. Top. And then we are going to carefully place that. And then we have another shelf all done. That's what the front looks like. Put that one down. And we are moving right along. And there is a note on the instructions to be careful not to paste the books beyond the width of the board, which we did not do. I am going to let those set up for a minute before I put them into A19 and A20 respectfully to finish the shelf, because I want them to be able to dry a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to work on the top of the shelf. Okay, so that is going to be A6. There's two A6s, A7 and A12. So we have the finials. I think I said that word before, and hopefully I am pronouncing that correctly. I think it's like the top of a lamp or the top of a bookshelf, but I don't know. Again, I could be wrong. I think it's called a finial. This is what they look like. They're going to go on top of the bookshelf. They're kind of just a very small piece. A7 and A12. You want the two small pieces, two small holes rather, facing you. That's where these two pieces are going to go. I'm going to grab a hold of them right above, position them to where they need to go, and be careful. These are the type of pieces do tend to break. They are decorative pieces, so you don't want to destroy them. I usually start them with my tweezers and then I finish them with my fingers, if that makes sense. So I kind of get them situated into the hole as much as I can. And then I go back with my hand, my fingers, and I just kind of push them in. That's what it looks like. Okay. And then this piece is going to go top. That's what that looks like. Okay, so now we're going to pop out A19. And A20. And it is telling me that they're supposed to look like this. So here is the piece. There is an opening right there. That piece needs to be facing towards me. So A20 finished side is going to go in. So it's going to look like this. We are going to first start with A19. That's the very first one we did that has the frame and the 3 books. That is going to go onto the top. Be careful, your glue is not completely set, so you will knock everything off. I speak from experience. And then you're going to take A17, and that's going to go right below it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take A20, and you are going to carefully line the shelves up. I like to do both on one side and then do the other side. Now, again, I sometimes don't know my own strength, so love this little hammer I got into a kit. That's what it should look like. Next, we are going to take the piece that we just put together. I am going to put a dab of glue on the top. So just along those. Lift up the string, and then I'm going to carefully snap. It's a beautiful sound. Let's see if we can get it to, oh, we got it twice. Great. And that's what it looks like so far. Okay, so moving along, we're going to do A15 and A9. Okay, finished side goes towards me, and it's telling me to take this piece and put it into the front of that piece. So we have A9 and we have A15, and we have them together. We are then going to do A5, and there's going to be 2 of them, and A10. So we have A10. Pushing from the back as much as we can. Okay. We have A5, we have A10. Okay, so these, let me double check what my legend says, because I see one with the filled star. The filled star, and it means that we are going to be putting the finished piece forward. Okay. So most kits have icons for assembly. So when I'm talking about an empty circle, that's what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about a filled circle with a filled star, that's what I'm talking about. And so the circle with the filled star is the colored part, the front part, and then just the plain circle is the unfinished part. And so that would be the star, that would be the circle. So these things are important because of the way that the pieces go into the Nook itself. How they look. Okay, so this is telling me that I need to take the finished edge for this side, and it's going to go onto the finished edge here. And then I want the unfinished side here. So what this is telling me is both finished sides are facing outwards. Don't get confused, just take your time. So that's the front, there's side 1, there is side 2, and then here is the unfinished sides. That's what that looks like. Okay, we are going to take the piece that we just put together, and we are going to take A14, and again, books are wet. I feel them sliding, so just be careful. You may have to just reposition them slightly. And we're going to put that down. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. Again, I'm not an expert. I've put together probably 25 of these kits. I'm doing this to show you that if I can do this, anyone can do it. And don't let those videos fool you where everything just snaps together and, you know, a famous lady who lived with 7 dwarfs comes out and I think whistles while you're doing it too, and everything just magically goes together. Doesn't happen ever. Okay, so we've done that, so now now it looks like this. Okay, so we're building, we are literally building a piece of furniture. Now we are going to take these bottom 2 and we're going to put them into here. And they're just gonna snap down. Love that sound. And there we go. And there we go. Okay, so see how it's all coming together. All right, and then we are going to take our next piece, which is this big piece that we put together earlier. We're going to take those clips that were in the back. We're going to push that down, and there we go. So simple, easy peasy. We're making sure that the books don't stick out like they asked us to make sure of. And the reason why we have these empty clips is because we are going to put a front on this cabinet. So we are going to take A8, which is the front of the cabinet. This is interesting because it actually is not one piece, which is kind of nice. So these are areas that if you put this together and you look at it and you want to open this cabinet for whatever reason, you could probably prop open the door just slightly. Yeah, give it a little bit of movement, give it a little bit of personalization. I would suggest you don't do that until you actually get the whole Nook together and make sure that, you know, there's a reason for it to be closed, or maybe they want you to have it open a certain way. But for right now, we're just gonna clip these in there. Make sure they're flush down. There we go. And there's our cabinet all put together. So that took about 15 minutes total. Okay, so let's move on to our next step. I'm going to pop out the pieces and I'll be right back. Okay, we are going to start building the stairway. So I have H7. It is going into H13. So I'm going to put a little bit of dab of glue here. I'm going to see how this fits. So I want this to stay. And staircases are notorious for being finicky. This one I don't believe is a spiral staircase, thank goodness. Spiral staircases are doable. They are a challenge. I've done probably about 4 or 5 of them, maybe 6. I don't even remember. I think I've blocked it from my subconscious at this point. Okay, we now need H8. I'm going to do the same thing. Drop a glue. I'm going to put that in here. These are stairs, so the first step go like that, just like stairs, or that's what we're building, the stairs. Y'all know what stairs look like, don't you? Assuming everybody has seen stairs. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so this is where you have to be careful. The orientation is important. I'm not too worried because we're not at the top of the stairs. I had to flip this piece over. I'm going to tell you why. See the little knob here? They have to line up. So you're going to have basically a flat side on this side and then over here. So this piece goes with the orientation here. Then H14, it's going kind of back and forth. So pay real close attention to your orientation. Little dab of glue. And it actually is telling you to glue this. So pieces fit pretty nice and tight though. So, okay. So we have H14. And then we're going to do H9. Little dab of glue. Brush off your string. Okay, so we've got something that's starting to look like a staircase. Okay, so that's all we're doing. So we've got, just to kind of recap, we are taking H7 as this bottom piece, then we have H13, then we have H14, H8, H9. So we are, I think, at a point where we're going to stop with that, and we're going to move on. And it looks like we are going to take H12, which is this piece here. And I just want you to see how cool that looks. Do you see little muddy footprints? Very cool kit. I think the level of detail in this kit is really nice compared to a lot of the ones that I've done that were a much more expensive kit. This kit was really reasonable if memory serves, and usually does. Okay, so we have H12, and we are going to take J53, which is this giant plant. Be careful, because this is the type of piece that can break. So, big plant. I don't know what it is about people who have money, at least the way that they're portrayed on television, where they have these giant gorgeous plants and flowers and whatnot in their hallways. I'm like, I don't have room for that in my hallway. I barely have room in my hallway for the things that we need to have in the hallway. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little bit of glue on here. We're going to put this in here. We're going to fix what we just popped out. This happens. Don't panic. This is why I'm showing it to you, and I'm not pretending and editing these videos, and you know, it's not difficult, but it's not the easiest thing in the world either. Okay, so now we're going to do H22, which is unfinished. So both sides are unfinished. And we are going to take H22 and we are going to align this with how it needs to go. So I need just a second to figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue along the outer edges. Structural integrity. Some people use nails in real life. We're using B7000 glue in our little DIY kit. As I said, we want to make sure that it is going to last. Okay, so when I put this back on, I put it back on wrong, which is not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just pop this in there. The reason I know I put it on wrong was because there's a little place for it. So, not a big deal. It's all fine. Everything is good because nothing is dried yet. So we are all good. We are getting this all together. It's going to come apart probably 4 more times before I'm done. And you know what? Good. Because it shows you it doesn't matter if I do 600 kits. This will probably happen to me again. Why? Because it's the nature of this craft, and that's okay. It teaches us patience. It teaches us that we can do hard things, and that hard things with enough practice are fun. And believe it or not, I know this probably looks like, you're probably like, oh my God, lady, would you just get this staircase together? Yes, I will. Patience is a virtue. And I tend to also be a perfectionist. Okay. Because after this, I am going to stop recording, I'm going to go spend some time with my fiance. And I'm going to probably have an early night. I think I mentioned in my earlier video I was in a minor car accident last night. Someone apparently wanted to be in the lane that I was in and decided it would be a good idea just to sideswipe my car and push me into the shoulder and then continue driving. So thankfully I wasn't hurt too badly, just a little shaken up and a little sore. And my car is doing pretty good as well. I'm going to get an estimate tomorrow on my birthday, so doesn't that sound like a lot of fun? And then we are going to do this side, and we are going to hopefully be able to get this side in with little problem, since the other side is already in and there's not as many pieces to connect. And there we go. And those are this beautiful sound of the clip. And don't like exactly how that looks. Let me kind of take my hammer. Get that part. There we go. And then I'm gonna make sure they're all in nice and tight, and they are. And then we have this really adorable staircase, and I will go ahead and I will actually use some Murphy oil soap, and I actually gently, I'm really careful, especially where the muddy footprints are, but I clean everything up a little bit, just kind of dust everything off. But there we go. So we have now put this together, we've put this together, and yes, it took a half an hour, but I'm also taking my time and showing you every step that I'm doing. The last piece of this is H20. So let's go ahead and let's pop out H20, which is right here. That is actually, I keep saying it, but I really am impressed with the quality of this kit. This is actually printed on both sides, which is really a nice touch. Usually it's not. Okay, I'm going to give you a word of warning, only because, again, I've told you many times, every time something has happened to me, it's why I tell you, be careful. Railings break. They are really fragile. It doesn't take a whole lot to hold them in, so you don't need the hammer, you don't need any of that, you just need to do that, and you're all done. So, thank you for watching. I really hope you're enjoying Susie's Cozy Corner. We are working on the key tracking book Nook. We are on part 5. Tomorrow night we're going to finish the staircase, and we are going to start placing the items onto the floor of the book Nook, I believe is what we're going to be working on first. This is a 2-level book Nook. So we'll have a bottom story and we'll have a top story. And so tomorrow we are going to work on the bottom story and get this staircase all finished up and get these items that we've been building placed. And I'm super excited, as I hope you are. And if you have this kit and you're following along, great. I hope it's helpful to you. And so this is what we created tonight. So I wish each of you enough, and I hope you have a great night.